My blissful gorgeous selves, I am leading you into Dharmopakhyan, a wonderful saga of Lord Shiva with Sati. Once upon a time, all the dignitaries from all celestial planets assembled around Lord Shiva and Brahmaji in a yajna ceremony. Then came there Daksha Prajapati, impressing upon the grand assembly by his splendor. Everybody stood up and honored him. Daksha approached his father Brahmaji and offered his obeisances and sat near him. Watching Lord Shiva, still very meditative and paying no attention and respect to his own father-in-law, Daksha Prajapati, he himself grew indignant. Staring at him with the blazing eyes, he shouted aloud, "Listen to me, O gods, sages and pandits. I speak to you neither from ignorance nor from spite. By waiting my delicate daughter, this monkey-eyed Shiva has become like son to me. Yet he has no sense of courtesy to express even by words upon my arrival. Living lonely in Kailash, left out from civilization and the civilized world, he has become ghostly. He does not dress properly. He has no aesthetic, cultured followers, but goblins, vampires, and apparitions and spirits. Therefore, I curse him to not have his share in sacrificial offerings anymore." Telling thus, dishonoring the whole assembly, Daksha just walked out. Nandishwara loved Lord Shiva. He could not stand his blasphemy. He stood up and said, "My Lord is ever enthroned in peace, in the state of pure consciousness, in absolute truth. He has arisen above common formalities. He has no vindictive spirit nor any kind of meanness. Yet this rascal Daksha has transgressed all the boundaries of humanity. So let him have an animal face. He doesn't deserve human and celestial face. Oh, this brute is so obsessed by spite and misunderstanding, yet he believes his curse is just and right. No jnanannajamapsaram, he thinks himself. Therefore, those who follow this complicated beast will become all-eater and feast-greedy and anti-purity. These Brahmins will wander like beggars. Their scholarliness, penance, and sacred vows will become means of their wretched livelihood, always anticipating donations, always expecting big feasts and big gifts. They will waste their life. Bhrigu was also a Brahmin and he was infuriated. He stood up and counter-cursed him. The followers of Shiva will become impostors and exhibitionists. Pasting ashes, they will have dreadful appearance. They will never look handsome. Hearing this, Lord Shiva, a bit disconsolate, stood up and walked away from the assembly, my dear friends. The yajna was completed and everyone returned their home heavy-hearted. Daksha's enmity for Lord Shiva grew as time passed. Many times unjust and wrong also progressed, my dear. Watch the wonder. With ever-growing vindictiveness with Lord Shiva himself, Daksha still prospered on. He successfully completed 2 great $1 trillion yajnas, Vajapaya yajna and Brihaspati-Sava yajna. He earned great fame and popularity. Not only this, the Creator, the Brahma himself promoted him with the highest post, Lord of the Lords, that is called Prajapati. What does that mean, my dear friends? Try to understand this. A mayor is greater person in a city. A governor is greater among all mayors. A president or Prime Minister is greater among all the governors. United States President is more powerful and important among all of them nowadays. But suppose the whole of America may sink in the ocean, that can only be with one natural calamity, and one who does it just by a simple will is an insignificant member of a society in planet Swaha. The big lord in there is known as Indradev, okay, who survives as young and powerful for 54,800,000 solar years. Greater than him is the resident of Mahaloka. Imagine all great powers of these celestials, my dear friends. Daksha was appointed as the lord of these lords of the celestials, including Indradev himself. Such an important post was provided to a complex Shiva hater, my dear friend. In spite of his Shiva Drohi mentality, he was progressing. Even so, look into the world. The Muslims, the Christians, the Britons who came to India, invaded this sacred land, broke temples, killed saints, and still they went on progressing materially. It appears nothing of severe punishment came upon them, but you just haven't seen the other part. No one can ever escape the consequence, my dear friends, okay? So what is coming in their life next? Therefore, seekers of truth must not get confused spiritually with some adversity, okay? Many times the danger, an accident, a terror you are heading at by being vindictive to a holy man, to a sadhu, helps you to be completely transformed, and this is what happened with Bhaksha. Many years past, Lord Shiva was in a long mystic trance, okay? And he has not mentioned this episode to Sati Devi, his beloved wife, for two reasons, my dear friends. One, great wind blows on great hills. Who dwells on high level of consciousness talks always on highest topics. And what is the highest topic? Either Brahma Jnana or Bhagavad Katha. What does that mean? The topics are absolute truth and topics from God's pastimes. It is only body obsessed and too material mind or low conscious level people who go on talking on petty things, just body, just local people related things. Newspaper, radio and TV release shallow matters. Lord Shiva and Sati always dwelled on high hills of consciousness. That's why almost 50% of our scriptures are in Shiva Parvati dialogue form, my dear friend. Secondly, the matters of misery should be spoken only with him or her who is powerful enough to dispel it, help it. Otherwise, you just turn the other one also miserable. By telling him or her your misery story, you make other one also miserable, my dear friend. There are groups of confused people who just go on sharing each other's misery stories and go on being miserable more and more. It is addictive. It serves the purpose of a tea, a coffee, a wine, a drug, a slow poison. Get rid of such addictions, my dear friend, okay? A wise man never do that. Shiva did not tell this to Sati Devi nor anyone else on Mount Kailash. Why? Because they were Lord Shiva's mind reader devotees and not followers as regular ones we see nowadays. With all these promotions, Daksha Prajapati's vanities exploded in greater amount of opposition to Shiva. He announced he is going to perform a Brihaspati Yajna, which only an exalted Brahmin deserves to perform. Haridwar was chosen for it. 10 miles of area was constructed and decorated as a Yajna arena. Flags, banners, flower garlands, pictures, banana trees, gems and jewels were beautifying the buildings and trees and pillars and even the roads. Like flocks of birds, airplanes full of decorated ladies and gents singing and talking loudly were flying towards Haridwar. Sati Devi saw. Hey guys, where are you going? To join Yajna ceremony at your daddy's home, madam. We are going there. And she wanted to join the festival at her father's home, my dear friend. With great excitement and pleasure, she came running. Came running where? She came running to her beloved husband as soon as she heard mantra chanting, Lord Shiva opening a spiritual trance. She came with big garlands of flowers and offered it to her Lord, and her face beaming with delight, offering many gifts. He bowed down to him and she said, Rejoice, my Lord, I have great news. Let me decorate you well. We have no time. We will be soon on our way to my father's home. We will join a great festival of Yajna. All celebrities from world over are going there. I haven't seen my father and mother since too long. Even in last Yajna, we could not make it. I don't want to miss this time, my beloved Lord. Together with you, I shall see my sisters, brothers, and mom's sisters and relatives. I will receive royal gifts and would rejoice, offering them at your feet, my Lord. Kindly get up and let me fix you well. Lord Shiva was immediately reminded of bullet words of reproach of that wicked Daksha Prajapati. He laughed to dismiss that memory and smiled and stood up and gave Sati Devi a big hug, a big embrace and sweet kisses on her forehead and both cheeks. Tears came to his eyes and he said, Oh Sati Devi, when shall I see you again, my beloved? And Shiva sighed. And Sati Devi said, surprised, What do you mean, Lord? We are going there together and will come back together and will remain here together ever and ever. Lord Shiva said, Dearest one, please don't be upset. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Indeed, it is all right to go to one's relations, even uninvited, but don't ask me to go there. Sati Devi said, but why? Lord Shiva said, please don't ask that. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Hubby, Sati Devi said, excuse me. You are not being practical. You are funny as well. I desperately want to know why. It's not all right to go when the relative's mind is tainted with malice, arrogance and anger, Lord Shiva said. Then Sati Devi said, who told you that my father is like that? Lord Shiva said, education, service, opulence, beauty, youth and pedigree are 6 embellishments for the nobles, but a curse to a shallow, petty-minded one. Sati Devi was annoyed and she said, hubby, you are giving me no reason. On top, you go on abusing my father for no apparent reason except one. They did not invite us. Why are you so touchy and close? Please stop that and let's dress up and go. Can't you afford to be a little generous, sire? Can you afford to be a little humble, dear husband? Let's be wise and hurry up. Lord Shiva said, no, that's not possible. Sati Devi said, yes, it is possible. I will show you. All you got to do is just to stop your negativity and just follow me. And you will see how beautiful pair we will look when we proceed. Everyone there will run down to us for our darshan. And I promise, I will make my parents apologize to you for forgetting to invite us. Okay. The source of all troubles is you want to receive honor but don't want to give. Come, I will teach you to bow to my father. He is your father-in-law, remember.